Flip Flappers is criminally underrated. It's a story of two high school girls who travel to different dimensions / alternate realities to look for some rocks so that they can fight the KKK. Okay, I'm kidding, they don't actually fight the KKK, but the enemies do dress like members of the Ku Klux Klan. Every other part of my synopsis for this anime is true though. This is a weird anime, and in some ways it's better if you don't know what you're getting yourself in for. Flip Flappers is very obviously a passion project by Studio 3 Hertz, and is undoubtedly the best thing that they've ever made. If you're unfamiliar with Studio 3 Hertz, then I wouldn't blame you, as they haven't made any heavy hitters in the anime industry. The biggest anime made by this studio are Sword Art Online, Alternative Gun Gale Online, The Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2, and Dimension W. Not exactly what you would consider to be must-watches, but Flip Flappers is, in my opinion, because every panel of this anime is dripping with talent. You can see the footage that I'm showing you. The animation on display here is insane. It takes a lot for animation to impress me. That's not because I'm an animation snob, but because it's not the reason that I watch anime. The thing that I love in anime is the story and characters. Just the same as with games, TV and movies. Everything else is secondary. However, that doesn't mean that I can't be impressed by animation, and Flip Flappers is just so consistently magnificent in the animation department. It's rare for me to really enjoy watching an anime purely because the animation is so beautiful, but it does happen every now and then. It recently happened whilst I was watching the Entertainment District arc in Demon Slayer. The animation was so good there that my eyes ended up glued to the screen, and Flip Flappers is no different. And it's good that Flip Flappers has such good animation because the story is so convoluted and confusing that a lot of people would drop this anime if it wasn't so consistently beautiful. I recently spoke about the works of Satoshi Kon. For those who don't know, Satoshi Kon loved to make films with confusing storylines, and I'd like to imagine that he would chuckle to himself watching Flip Flappers because he would get a kick out of how little Flip Flappers initially makes sense. Fortunately, the messy storyline of Flip Flappers does come to a satisfying conclusion in my opinion, and there is just enough cohesiveness to the narrative that you're able to put most of the dots together for this anime. But you will be wondering what is happening for at least the first 4 or 5 episodes of the series. But again, this shouldn't be too much of a problem as the fluid animation should carry you through these episodes. But the story is arguably nothing without its characters, and how are the characters in Flip Flappers? To be honest, they're nothing special. The show follows Coconut and Paprika, and I found their relationship to actually be a little frustrating, mainly because it feels like they spend most of the show doing their own version of a will they won't they. As far as I'm aware, this show isn't a Yuri, but it does feature a lot of Yuri imagery. Now I have no problems with Yuri. My issue comes down to them essentially teasing a relationship between the two, but never actually committing to it. So I was a little confused as to how I should read their relationship, and it gets even more confusing when there are revelations about who Paprika is and what her actual age is. But regardless, I wish the relationship between the two leads was better developed. However, individually, I actually enjoyed both characters. Coconut is our lead, and I really like how flawed she was as a person. She can be mean and clearly has little faith in herself. She kind of reminds me of a more mentally and emotionally stable version of Shinji from Evangelion. Coconut is a lonely person who only has her grandma and her friend Yayaka to turn to. She is unsure of who she is and what she should do, and because of this I think a lot of people will find her to be a very relatable lead, and I love the juxtaposition between her and Paprika, the other lead of Flip Flappers. Paprika is this reckless bundle of energy, always looking before she leaps, and she has a lot of energy to every scene that she's in. She's also, at least at the start of the anime, the character that is responsible for a lot of the set pieces and action, so she does really steal the show at the start of the anime. Although later on, Coconut does join in and get some moments to shine too. The fact that the two leads are so different only makes me wish the show had developed their relationship more meaningfully, especially as some scenes in the anime didn't have as much impact on me as they should have, since I didn't really care about their relationship. But again, I do like both characters. I just found most of the other relationships between characters in this anime to be more interesting. I probably won't talk too much about Yayaka so that I avoid spoilers, as there are some big revelations with her character. But honestly, I really liked her character, and I really liked the relationship that she had with Coconut in this anime. It's hard for me to talk too much about the relationship without spoiling, but I like that the anime took the time to explain the complex feelings that Yayaka has for Coconut. It really fleshed Yayaka out and got me invested in their relationship far more than the friendship between Coconut and Paprika. Salt is a character that I love just because of how cool he is. I love that has to do with the fact that he's voiced by Kenjiro Suda, who is one of the most iconic voices in anime. Salt was my favourite character in the anime. Again, it's mostly because of just how much coolness he uses anytime he's on screen, but the anime does have an episode that takes place in the past, which really builds up his character and completely flips the pre-existing relationships in this show on its head. I really liked him, and I'm glad that when the mystery of who he was and what he was doing was resolved, that I felt satisfied. None of the other characters in the anime are really that noteworthy. They're more just really wacky characters that add to the craziness of everything that's happening in Flip Flappers. Although I like that there was this really weird robot that would follow Kokona and Paprika on all of their adventures. I don't know what was up with this robot and it was never really explained, but I'm glad that he was in the anime. I also really like the music that they used in this anime, especially the opening and ending songs. I've seen so many anime openings and a lot of them really blend together, but I made sure to listen to the opening of Flip Flappers at the start of every episode, because it's a really good song with top-notch visuals. Even more surprising is how good the ending song for Flip Flappers is. Some anime have good ending songs, but generally I don't even wait to see if the ending song is good. I'm already out of there. But Flip Flappers' ending song is so good that it managed to entice me to listen to it once every episode was over. Flip Flappers is an anime that never received the attention that it deserved, but I implore you to go watch it. It feels like a really old anime in the best way, with some of the best animation I've ever seen in an anime, and one of the weirdest and most unique stories that I've ever watched. I love this anime, and I hope that when you watch it, you'll fall in love too.